Hello, my name is Daniel Lachance. I represent WorldWater.org, an organization basically that is located in Quebec City. And we are an entity that is also recognized throughout Canada. The fact that it's a not lucrative organization. And the mission forecast for this organization is mainly to package units of potable drinkable water that is a necessity for certain places right now that do have not access to water. The last report from the UN, over 780 million people, that includes mainly children and women, do not even have access to water in 2020. So, and in India, the last report that I was reading yesterday, they project that over 500 million people and more or less 200,000 people would die every year just of lack of water. So we're quite privileged here in this province to have quite a water basins. We're also responsible to know in our obligations that the water has her rights too to be respected. So we understand that we will be working jointly also to respect the water basins, and also take water that exceeds from these water basins that go back in nature. And finally, rather, we will package this water and be able to sustain to the obligations of having people that have access to water. The organization's mission mainly is to help the needed. And going back 20 years ago, more or less, all the treaties were signed by all the countries. And 20 years later, we have the same study of the same people that do not have access to water. So nothing has never been done. So I think right now we have no choice to do something and be concrete of what we can do, because these people have no voice. And finally, we're the only ones that could reach out to them and know exactly that they need and they could receive the water, because it's a necessity for them as much as us. So I feel this organization is quite unique, because up to now there was no organization on the humanitarian aspect to really concentrate to give out water. You're going to say, how come we can give out water? Because we basically all our donations will be concentrated for packaging administratively. An organization that will commit 100% of their commitment to supply water. So there is no surprise. It's not an organization that will receive funds for other reasons. The funds that will be received as donations mainly will be used to package water. So everything that will happen in the package facility will be based on doing packaging and delivering to the needed. I think it's one of the nicest projects in the world right now, because I think with the water it will reunite the countries in a way that give respect also to the people in need. And I don't think any of the biggest countries in the world, like such as the USA or countries such as Russia, would be against having water access to the needed, because it's a necessity. The only thing that may be asked, how we will manage the water, as I expressed myself before, the water will be managed with great respect. If we give respect to the water that will be packaging to be sent out to the people in need, it will work out perfectly. If we don't respect their water basins, it won't be the proper way of doing it. So we commit ourselves towards the respect of the water, the essence of life, but if we use it in a way that we give it to the people in need, I have no doubt that these people in need and all the communities and the international community will be very happy that such commitment has been taken. I don't see any country that would object to these kinds of mission that we are forecasting, because water in any country is essence of life. So if it's essence of life, that means these people also are allowed, because they're part of the planet, and they're allowed also to have access to water. And that's unconditional. So please, not please, we don't really care, because we have a mandate and we're going to go forward, and we're going to be so proud to be able to help people in need. That's really the mission. And I think that 20 years passed, and finally we're there. And the organization does exist. It's a quote unquote a legal entity and a Canadian entity, and we are proud of it. And we're proud also to be Canadians, and very proud that we can help the people in need, because I think the mission that we put together to make it happen and make it accessible to all countries is going to be eventually one of the nicest gifts that humans could give back to humans, because really basically the humans that do need water are the same humans that are similar to other humans. So we are not different. So I think the water will bring peace, and the water at that point, once we start moving the water to needed people in certain countries, countries will be hearing and what we're doing. And in my opinion, this was going to be one of the biggest project in the world, because that we always said that the blue gold will bring to war the war over the water. Our organization is really, our mandate is to have peace and water. And we are conditionally against any ideas that we should create war because of water. So the organization is certain balance between all, and water is essential. The UN recognized, so we are going forward. And your support is considered as much important, because you are part also of this mission. It's not a proprietor organization, because it's not an ownership. This organization is owned by the people. So eventually these countries will join eventually to this organization, and they'll be pooling a certain GDP out of their domestic product. And finally this is gonna at least sustain and avoid any confrontation about war, about water. So I think it's more than just humanitarian organization. It's also a peacemaker organization. So the organization, I think, is quite important, and any help, again, as I mentioned before, that you are hearing this presentation I'm making, you are all welcome to join and send the information out and say that we exist, and finally that we work all together to make it happen. So I wish you a good day, and I thank you all.